This video falls under fair use. Fair use allows commentary, criticism, and reactions. What's up, y'all? So we're back with another one. It's a reaction video, so let's check this clip out.
10 years ago, a world-famous DJ released a music video called For a Better Day. It's been viewed over 100 million times, but back then, nobody realized who this music video was about. It told one of the darkest stories imaginable, a story many dismissed as just a dark creative choice. But what happened next is what makes this truly disturbing. Exactly 3 years after this exposure went live, he was found unresponsive at only 28 years old. Ever since that day, his fans have wondered, was there a connection between his warning and his sudden departure? In light of everything we've learned from the recent documents about that disgraced financier and his secluded island, this video isn't a mystery anymore. It looks like a clear indictment of a powerful group that does everything to stay in the shadows. In this episode, we are decoding Avicii's message to reveal exactly what he was trying to warn us about. In the For a Better Day video, a group of wealthy men arrive at a secluded location in the middle of nowhere. A man is waiting for them in front of a sketchy-looking truck. The exact kind of stories we're now seeing in the recent documents released. He opens the truck door and reveals the innocence he's offering. The men collect them and proceed to engage in the unthinkable. But then the story fast forwards. We see a group of vigilantes who track these men down and settle the score one by one, including a major political leader. This music video reveals so much that I literally can't show the footage without destroying the life of this video. But it's clear, back in 2015, Avicii was calling out a system we have all finally become well aware of. The video was showing us exactly how their system operates. I believe he knew all of this because he likely saw it firsthand. We already know from the January 2026 documents that this monster's operation overlapped heavily with the music industry. As one of the biggest faces of house music, Avicii was likely invited into inner circles where he witnessed the unthinkable. Instead of staying silent, he made this video to expose exactly what they were doing. I believe the vigilantes in the video, the ones who tracked these men down and settled the score, were actually representing him. He was using his art to deliver the justice the system wouldn't. The song is called For a Better Day, hinting that only after these monsters are stopped will we truly see one. But what happened after he released his warning is what convinced me he knew too much. Just 3 years later, he was found unresponsive at only 28 years old. Like so many others, the official narrative focused on his personal struggles, but the timing is hard to ignore. Why did it happen just 3 years after he released a video calling out a system that wouldn't be confirmed by the documents for another 10 years? He made it clear he was aiming this at the powerful, both the rich and the political leaders who thought they were untouchable. The fact that he tragically passed exactly 3 years after delivering this warning is at the very least incredibly suspicious. It led many to believe that he made powerful enemies the moment the video went live. Remember, Avicii wasn't just some niche artist. He was a global powerhouse. Hits like Wake Me Up and Waiting for Love have billions of streams on all platforms. With this one video, he brought this dark system to the attention of over 100 million people. People who, just like us, started asking questions and looking for answers. We know the individuals he was calling out have the resources to make problems disappear. So is it really far-fetched to think that's what happened here? Now, the official reports focus on his mental health and personal struggles. They claimed he was in a dark place and being taken advantage of by those around him. While those factors are documented, they don't rule out the suspicious timing of everything else. It's possible the very thing he exposed or what led him to that dark place to begin with.
So let me just stop this video here fast because, this kid, Avicii, he was definitely a powerhouse because he had so many hits. And, I never listened to Avicii myself, but the kids definitely listened to Avicii. And he just passed away, He was out in the desert and something fishy went on. Because I heard rumors about Avicii. He was actually planning to, drop a documentary, exposing the elite. And so let's get back to the clip.
But when someone exposes a network this disturbing and is gone 3 years later, it's hard to accept that it's just a coincidence. This seems to be a recurring pattern in the industry. When a celebrity speaks up about what they've seen, it rarely ends well. And that brings us to another case that follows this exact blueprint. The case of Trevor Moore. Just like Avicii, Trevor was using his massive platform to hint at the nefarious behind-the-scenes workings of the industry. While he did make music, he was better known as a comedian, the head of the group The Whitest Kids You Know. But even though his music was satirical, those parodies touched on some very dark realities. In his sketch High in Church, Trevor literally compares industry executives to a shadowy cloaked group. He meets with agents who lead him to a sketchy dark room where studio heads are waiting for him in robes and masks. They tell him he'll get his own comedy special, but only if he signs a contract and makes a blood oath.
But before you can do a special on a major cable network, we're going to need you to sign some things.
We're also going to need you to swear a blood oath to us and our cause.
They tell him that if he violates the oath, the consequences are deadly for him and his family.
And if you violate this oath, we're going to burn you and everyone that you love.
He's then told he must pledge his soul to an ancient entity to seal the deal and push their specific agenda.
Also need to pledge your soul to Baphomet. He's this god that we all worship.
Now, we will need you to include some of our messaging in your program.
Finally, and this is the part that hits different in 2026, the sketch said that he must allow himself to be filmed doing the unthinkable to an innocent, just so they have collateral in case he ever speaks out.
To use as blackmail if you ever think of telling anyone about anything that happened here today.
While this was clearly meant to be satire, many believe Trevor was trying to expose the entry fee of the elite through his comedy, exactly like Avicii did with his music video. This wasn't the only sketch where he engraved this message. His parody Drunk Text to Myself was another video that clearly exposed the industry. Many see the song as a parody of artists like Justin Bieber, the heartthrob beach blonde singer archetype. In the video, they show the pop star being exploited by his record label. There's even a scene where the star is in front of a ritualistic statue with his parents and the executives. This video was so deep, I can't play any of it here because of the platform's restrictions, but I did make an unfiltered breakdown of Trevor Moore on my Patreon, link below. But what happened to Trevor just a few years later is what makes this truly eerie. Just like Avicii, Trevor was found unresponsive under suspicious circumstances. Authorities reported he was drinking and accidentally fell from his balcony. Just like that, a comedian who repeatedly called out Hollywood was gone. But his fans aren't convinced. They believe those sketches made him some very powerful enemies. Remember, today we know that a lot of what Trevor was revealing is being confirmed. The 2026 documents revealed emails that specify connections between that disgraced financier and members of the entertainment industry. In the emails released by the DOJ, several artists are mentioned by name, proving the circles Trevor Moore mocked actually existed. It's been a long-standing rumor that artists who grow up in the industry deal with things that no young person should ever see.
All right, now, so let me just add this commentary. So, I mean, we do know that, for example, Jeffrey Epstein, I mean, that guy, he had a lot of, powerful people around him, and no one got arrested. And you know exactly what he did. He did a lot of, disgusting things to, I can't, say the word here on YouTube, but, his friends never got arrested. That just goes to show that these powerful people, they can do whatever they want, So let's get back to the clip.
I believe this is exactly what Trevor Moore was trying to expose before the system caught up with him. Isn't it suspicious that every time a celebrity speaks out, they don't stick around very long? We saw it with Stanley Kubrick in his final film, Eyes Wide Shut. Just like Avicii and Trevor Moore, Kubrick used his art to expose the inner workings of the evil that operates in the shadows. And just like the others, he faced immediate consequences for revealing too much. The alleged documented history tells us that Kubrick showed the final cuts of his film to studio executives for approval. Reports from that time suggest that the executives weren't just unhappy, they were furious. Allegedly, the film contained scenes that identified powerful individuals and specific rituals that the elite wanted kept in the dark. They demanded he remove the footage. He refused. That is when the story turns dark. Kubrick suddenly passed away. The official cause was a heart attack in his sleep, but for those of us tracking the pattern, the timing is impossible to ignore. Many believe he was silenced and the film was subsequently altered, with the most revealing 24 minutes scrubbed from history.
He claimed to be one of Kubrick's top assistants before he died. In other words, he was there all the way to the end.
Wow, that's getting good.
And he told me Kubrick kept muttering to himself that the Warner Brothers executives were going to hate his film. And literally, he quoted me saying, when they see this film, they're going to kill him. Then, on the night that he showed them the film in London, strangely enough, he had taken up smoking again. which he'd been a chain smoker earlier in life, and he kind of slowed down. But apparently, much to this guy's surprise, he was chaining again. And he waited in the lobby, really kind of pale and distant. And then the movie ended, and the door opened, and somebody walked out and said, "Stanley, you need to come down here." And the door shut, and this guy said that he heard yelling for about 45 minutes, screaming and yelling, and he heard Kubrick say that, you can't change my film. It's in my contract. And then Kubrick stormed out first, and he followed Stanley, and that was the last time we ever saw Stanley. Wow. Stanley died exactly 666 days before January 1st, 2001, the first day of the year of his greatest film. That worries me, I have to tell you. I think that's a signal, and I hope to, the heavens above that he wasn't murdered.
While the industry maintains the official story, we have to look at the recent documents released. These files finally confirm the existence of the very circles Kubrick was filming in 1999. The rituals, the mass, and the secluded estates aren't just movie props anymore. They are entries in a government database. History just keeps on repeating itself. Whether it's Avicii with his music video, Trevor Moore with the rituals in his sketches, or Kubrick with Eyes Wide Shut, the blueprint is identical. These creators are brought into the industry, they reach the top of their fields, they witness the dark side, and they choose to use their massive platforms to sound the alarm. Then, they're gone. You can't convince me that Avicii wasn't exposing this monster and his associates. The video was a clear as day warning, even showing vigilantes settling the score against the very people we believe we're reading about in the 2026 files. It's hard to believe that everyone who exposes this system ends up having an accident. It is time we open our eyes and ask the questions they don't want us to ask. Most people watch For a Better Day and assume the location is just a random cinematic backdrop. It isn't. Avicii specifically chose to film this in Hungary. At the time, critics thought it was just for aesthetic, but if you look at the recent documents, the geography becomes the most chilling part of the story. In the declassified transport manifest released this past January, Hungary is listed as a primary logistic hub for the very network Avicii was depicting. The sketchy truck from the video isn't just a prop, it's a visual representation of a system that the 2026 DOJ documents now prove was active during the exact years Avicii was touring there. He was performing at the biggest festivals in the region, placing him at the exact ground zero locations where these events were unfolding. For all we know, he could have been invited to the very gatherings he ended up exposing. When you see the vigilantes in the video tracking these wealthy men through the Hungarian countryside, he's showing you the literal crime scenes that the DOJ wouldn't confirm for another 10 years. This wasn't a metaphor. He was documenting a system. Reports from 2016 to 2018 show that Avicii was in a literal legal war to retire. He wanted out of the industry. He famously retired from touring, but the industry wouldn't let him go. In the January 2026 industry associate emails, there is a thread from March 2018, just weeks before his departure, discussing an uncooperative asset in the music space. The timing perfectly matches Tim's final trip. There are documented accounts of his final phone calls where he was reportedly excited about his new revelations. Just like Trevor Moore was found after pushing the boundaries on his final Newsboy stream, Avicii was found right as he was finalizing a project that he claimed would change everything. Both men were 28 and 41, prime ages for a system cleanup when an asset becomes a liability. They both left a trail in their art, and they both were gone shortly after. To understand why this happens, you have to look at how the industry views these people. In the 2026 documents, there is a section regarding intermediate management. It describes a protocol where high-value assets aren't viewed as people, they are viewed as IP assets. When an asset like Avicii or Trevor Moore begins using their platform to devalue the system by exposing it, they move from being a revenue stream to a liability.
All right, now, so there you have it. That was, a powerful video. And, the guy, the truth is, definitely a big shout out to the truth is, because, he has a lot of great videos. And I'm going to make sure to add the link in my description, And he likes to talk about, this, I don't want to say the word here on YouTube, but, all these powerful people, because if I do mention the word, I know for a fact that YouTube is gonna suppress the video, And we do know that all these rich celebrities, we do know that they can pretty much do whatever they want because they're a big family, you know? So make sure to drop a comment because I read all my comments, you know? So see y'all in the next videos.